So hello everyone, welcome to another video with me working on the 7 Series. Yes, I'm in the garage. It's not a video about the 30, but it's really windy outside right now, so I knew I couldn't do an intro out there. What I'm looking at doing today is taking off the radiator, the alternator, water pump, thermostat, or the pipework basically for all of that. Also the power steering reservoir with all the power steering lines going from that. What's happened basically is the power steering reservoir, the two pipes going to that, one of them has got a leak. Now that's caused to leak power steering onto the alternator, which has made the alternator not work as good as it needs to. So along with that, I've got the new belts to go on with the alternator, as well as I've got a new radiator to go on as well. So there's a lot going on with the car right now. I'm just going to get a good refresh with all these systems and things like that, so the car should be running mighty smooth, especially once I do another engine oil change. Get that engine oil really nice. I didn't want to run the car to operating temperature once I did find out that it has a radiator leak. I just thought I'm gonna stop right there, I'm gonna get that sorted, and then I can worry about getting the car up to temperature and letting the engine oil kind of clean out the engine. So let's jump into the video and we're gonna start working on the 7 Series. With the drastic weather always changing, I've cleared out the garage. Nice open space. Just need to move the chair over there. But I'll get the 7 Series in here and then I'll be able to work on it comfortably. Protect me from the elements as much as it can be. Although it's a lot colder than it was, and I really miss the heat now. But yeah, let's get the car in. She's inside! Woo! I spaced that perfectly. I'm very happy with that. So yeah, with regards to the car now then, so air filter, well, the air box needs to come off, radiator shroud needs to come off, then the radiator, then I'll look at working on the power steering. There's a lot basically that needs to go on right now, which all adds to the fun really, to be honest with you. So it's all going to be a bit by bit. I think I'm just going to put it into a hyperlapse and just let you guys watch it that way. So
rage on that beat, going crazy.
So that took some time, but there we go. We've got the water pump, thermostat stuck in there, but I'll take that off in a bit. Got the alternator off, got majority of the power steering off. I'm just going to disconnect the wire. The pipe from here. I need to get the special crimp kind of stuff. I need to get that special tool basically to remove that pipe. Got the radiator out, got all the belts off. Got all the belts off, which is, great. So up next, what I'm going to be looking at doing now is taking the alternator to a guy that I know to get that refurbished. And yeah, that'll be it basically. The car is going to be running very smooth after this. I'm also going to look at doing the spark plugs while I've got the car in the garage. Just give that a nice little refresh. And the amount of sling that has been created from the alternator power steering leak. Obviously it's been dripping onto the alternator, I think, and it's just been going everywhere. I'll show you guys the alternator in a second, just to see just how dirty that thing is, and just everywhere around here. So let me show you that actually. So quickly, as we are looking around here, let me turn the brightness up on this. As you can see just over here, just how much of a mess that has been created. All of that needs to get cleaned up. So this is this is going to be quite nice for the car, getting all this tender loving care. Just removed as much as I can over here, so that's all ready. Oh wow, you can actually get to see the engine block quite nicely over here. You can see even up here, it's just made a real mess. So yeah, that's going to get done. If you can look at the alternator here, you can see why it's not able to run at maximum capacity. The good thing is the water pump was actually one of the metal ones. So time to take the alternator off to the guy. So whilst I'm waiting for the alternator to get reconditioned, I'm going to be looking at quickly changing over the spark plugs and then giving the rest of the engine bay a nice quick little clean. And I'm then going to look at changing over the hoses for the power steering, because let's face it, that's the main problem right now for me. So once I've got on that done, I might actually start on the power steering fluid lines first and then work my way from there. So let's go. So what I'm going to look at doing now is putting on the new water pump. Before I do that, I'm actually going to clean up the surface in which that's going to be connected to. That way making sure, one, you get a perfect seal, and two, you're just getting rid of any contaminants, and kind of just basically just taking care of the block while you're doing that. So I'm just going to get some sanding paper real quick. So this is just a little bit of a 120 grit. Look at that. That dirt just there. That's section 1 basically done. Dry that off. The other surface I'm just touching up right now is where the actual water pump is going to be looking at attaching itself to. With the O-ring, what I've read is just to apply it onto the water pump dry. So that's what I'm looking at doing here. The O-ring just there, perfect. Now, quick comparison between old and new. This actually looks like a BMW one. It's got BMW stamped on it there, and it looks to be in good condition. Obviously it's got a little bit of dirt on there just now, but I actually feel like this was actually replaced quite recently. Well, not recently, but when the car was last used, they were probably trying to find the coolant leak, and they had this replaced and the thermostat replaced. Didn't realize that it was just the radiator that was leaking. So that's actually quite a good quality one, but this is the one that I've got at the moment. So it's got a metal propellers at the end. The metal propellers is really important because you don't want to go for a plastic one because they break. That's just the reality of it. So from what I am aware of, these only go on one way. That's really tight to get in. Just gonna actually very quickly make sure I just get all the excess gunk off of these. Because, you know, why not? Might as well make it all look nice and fresh. Beautiful rain has started again. It's not perfect, but it's a lot cleaner than they were. I think I'm gonna call it a day. It's been about, I don't know. It's been about 6 hours worth of work, 6 or 7 hours worth of work so far, including basically going and dropping off the alternator really. The one bit that I'm stuck on right now is removing the other end of that pipe from the power steering pump. That's being it's got the I forgot what they're called now. It's got a pinch clamp on it, so it's quite hard to remove from up here. I'm not sure how to remove it from down below. I might have to remove off the whole pump, so I'm kind of preparing for that, but I don't really want to do that. If I can avoid it, I will. But other than that, basically everything else has been removed, and I think, yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna carry on. I'm gonna try and attack that again, and then do the spark plugs and fit everything back on. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm actually enjoying this. Because I've worked on the engine already with my E30, I already know basically where everything is. So it's quite entertaining and quite relaxing in that respect. You know, I'm just kind of enjoying the process and not always having to just stress and those kind of things. Like, it's quite easy. I just looked over there on my spare power steering pump, just to kind of get my idea of, okay, where are the bolts, those kind of things. So yeah, really, really helpful in that respect. But yeah, we'll pick it up tomorrow. So everyone, let's get this light on. Everyone, it's another day. It's a lot brighter outside right now. And inside here, it is all still a mess. But that's the whole reason why I am here. So I'm going to look at definitely taking off the power steering pump today, because you know what? I won't be able to get to the other end of that pipe unless I go through the bottom of the car. But even then, you've got the other two lines going just by it, so it's not worthwhile. So what I'm going to do is just take off the power steering pump, and then look at dealing with that pipe, and then preparing everything for installation. So let's just jump right into the video. So everyone, it's turn the light on. Good news right now is it's as clean as I'm gonna get the engine bay right now. I'm just going to clean up around the sides, but this is the good point, where this is the halfway point. I've got the alternator back and it looks great. I'm really happy with how it's come out. I was told that it was just like the diodes or something like that that had gone, more than likely from a bad battery, and the alternator was just working too hard, which this car did have a bad battery before, so that's no surprise. So I'm trying to clean up a few other bits and pieces, get it looking a little bit more presentable, and then start putting everything back together. So like I said, really exciting, really happy the fact that we're at this point. Once we get everything back together, it just means the car can then just be topped up with all the fluids, bled properly, and yeah, happy days. I just did all of that, constantly taking it off, taking it on, constantly taking it off, putting stuff back on, taking stuff off, putting back on, and I remembered I haven't connected this hose. That was That's really annoying. Forgot to connect that one pipe that goes across, the coolant pipe, from all the way back here. So I had to take the alternator off again for that. Now this, it's annoying, but I gotta do it. So yeah, connect this up now. Just gonna align it as best as I can. I should have really connected this while I had the power steering pump off, but that's quite a long process, so I'm gonna try and avoid that. And hopefully that is all I needed to do. Damn, my back is not gonna be happy with me once I've finished with this. I'm telling you that now. Genuinely speaking, one of the best things about vlogging is you get to look back at your old footage and be like, oh, that's where that went. So the long pipe that goes all the way across here, I just couldn't remember how it actually goes down. I realised now, this basically goes the opposite way around, so it keeps a little bit of distance away from the pulleys and stuff over here. And that's how it all fits. So I'm going to set everything back up. I'm going to carry on working. This serpentine belt is driving me insane. I literally just couldn't get it to fit on yesterday, so I'm gonna try it again. So everyone, a couple of updates right now. Firstly, that serpentine belt took way longer than it needed to. Basically what happened there was the alternator, the bottom bolt bearing, like little piece that goes through the casing of it, that I pushed out. I'm guessing that might have been from when the alternator had its work done. I'm not 100% sure, but that meant the alternator wasn't sitting in correctly, which was why I wasn't able to get the rest of it lined up. Yeah, that literally that took about 5 hours just to basically trial and error, taking one thing off then another, just trying to figure out where it was going wrong, and eventually it was just a little thing like that. But right now I'm looking at replacing this connector. The old connector had broken. It was on to the radiator really crooked, so I've got the other one from the new fan shroud that I've got, so I'm just connecting this up. I'm just going to look at soldering on the wires, so then that's all nice and connected and safe. I did sand off some of this wire because it was just really corroded. And yeah, once I've got this on, I'll be looking at putting the radiator in next. And once the radiator's in, I'll be able to connect up all the pipes. You do have to move over some of the stuff from your old radiator, that one sensor, the temperature sensor, I think it is, and you have to move over the little mounting bushes. So I think that looks all really good now though. So once I get this done, it'll be home straight towards getting the car back onto the road and driving. So let's carry on with soldering this up. Oh, I also need to go and get some power steering fluid, so that's something that I do need to get. So I just had to do a lot of mixing around between these two. I accidentally cracked a little piece over here. This piece was cracked from before, but my pipe for this is different from the one before. The other one, that one's got two pipes. I'm not sure where the second pipe goes to, but my old one only had one pipe, and that's the setup that this car's for. So I just had to literally remove all of that and yeah, prepare this one to go on. So got that ready. I'm also got to get ready the pipe that goes all the way over the top. So with everything back on the car right now, there's a couple of things that I need. I need more power steering fluid. It's one thing that I forgot. I thought I had it ordered. I thought I had it here, but I don't. So I'm gonna have to get some more of that. And then I will be topping up the coolant system as well. From what I can see, everything is on here perfect. So fingers crossed, it shouldn't leak. But while I'm waiting for the power steering fluid and then looking at doing the cooling system, so everything is basically near enough. Ooh, I'm staying on the wrong bit. So everything is basically near enough done with the car right now. Just need to look at filling up the fluids. But what I'm also going to do right now is change the spark plugs over. It's been so long since the car's been driven and those kind of things. We will look at the condition of all the belts and those kind of things before I completely end this video. Because honestly, you know what? I'm going to go grab them now. So here is a belt. This is the main drive belt. It's the alternator belt, and it is literally in perfect condition. I could have reused this. Same as this one for the AC. These were literally brand new, near enough. I think the car must have had a service just before it was parked up by the condition of these. The water pump, again, looked near enough new, and it was a BMW one. Thermostat looked near enough new. So these kind of things just show to me that, yeah, the car has been parked up for a while, but just before it was parked up, it had some good TLC for it. So I'm going to put all these away, get the spark plugs checked, and we'll see what we can report. So we're here with the plugs. They're all looking about the same really right now. Just a little bit black and dark at the top, but nothing really too alarming for me to say, oh, these are really bad, isn't that? But because I got new ones, and I know these are at least 3 years plus old, I'm gonna look at changing them over, and you can see that they're a little bit discolored there. They are NGK BKR6EK, so they're quite good spark plugs, but I got some cheap ones to replace it with for the time being. Just make sure that the car's running perfectly smooth. So let's get the new plugs in. I've got some ATF fluid here. Got 5 liters because I got it at a good price. And yeah, once I got that in, we'll be turning the wheel left to right, making sure we circulate some of the fluid all through the system, and then be able to look at getting the car on the road. I've topped up some water into the radiator already. Reason why I've only just done water for now is because I'm going to look at doing a flush later on, and in case there is a leak, it's just cheaper to replace water than it is to replace coolant. And with the power steering fluid, you can't really have a substitute for that. It's either power steering fluid or not. So I'm gonna have to just top that up, and fingers crossed it'll be all right. So let's go with that. It's time to give the car the first start up. So move everything out of the way, and got the bleed valve opened up on the coolant system, and the power steering is self bleeding, so that should hopefully bleed itself out. I did overfill it slightly, so fingers crossed when the air goes through it all, it's just going to level itself. So with the power steering making so much noise, I thought safer to turn the car off. I'm going to open this up and make sure everything is starting to at least level out. So that has gone quite low right now already, which in a weird way I'm actually happy with, because that means I don't have to drain it. It's actually so foamy in there right now. Just look at topping it up again. And it is going to be getting rid of all of the air in the system as well, all those kind of things. So with the new alternator refurbed, the battery light has gone off the dash, so that's great. It means the car is getting voltage. Sounds happier. Yeah, that sounds very happy right now. The engine sounds still a little bit tappety, so once the engine oil and everything like that is fully fresh in there, once I do the next full engine oil flush and the radiator flush, the car, right, time to turn it off again, check all the fluids. Needs a little bit more. That literally looks like it's on the perfect level. I will obviously be needing to do a coolant flush as well, so I'm going to leave the bleed open again and turn the car on, put the heating all on max, and just let the car warm up to operating temperature. I'm actually going to look at moving the car out the garage. There's no point in leaving it inside here right now. It's just going to get fumes in here, so let's get it out. As you can see, I'm just filled up with water and letting all the air bubbles come out. Keep letting this happen over and over again. It's a bit of a messy job, but it needs to be done. Just make sure to keep checking the car's fluids and temperature and those kind of things. Turn the car on, turn it off, leave it overnight, or leave it enough time to cool down before you start looking at other things, and then you'll be able to have a perfect running car. So far I've checked, no leaks from anywhere. I'll be honest, I'm really surprised that it's been a pretty smooth journey so far. And another thing, actually, if you want to see a restoration of a classic Mercedes W124 estate that my dad has owned for a while, then make sure you leave that in a comment, and I'm going to see what I need to do to get that happening. In fact, let me show you guys the car real quick. So here is the car. Now, in all fairness, I believe that the car is beyond economical repair, but if I am able to get your help to get me to, I don't know, I'll do a separate video on it, but if you guys leave a comment below to see a restoration on this, then that will be an amazing, crazy long project. This car has been parked up here for the last, I don't know, more than 10 years. It's probably been closer to 12 years since the car has just been parked up. So yeah, you can see just how dirty it is. But if you want to see that, comments down below. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps me out, especially with the channel and its growth right now. If you want to see more from me, like I said, please please consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out. Always awkward having people walk past your house. Always awkward having people walk past watching you record. Yeah. Subscribe.